Hey, what's up, world? I'm going to say this first. If you have children in the room and you're watching this video, I'm going to suggest that you take them out of the room, because I cannot promise. I'm a little upset right now. I cannot promise that I will not be vulgar. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and start now. The notion of waking up in the morning and seeing a video of a young lady posting something live on Facebook because her boyfriend was just shot reaching for his wallet after being instructed to do so. The day after waking up and seeing a video of a black man being shot in the chest at point blank range is no longer foreign, and I consider that a problem. As a side note, I understand that this is not new. I understand that the police have been killing black men at a greatly disproportionate rate for many years now. Is the fact that there's social media and it can't be swept under the rug because there are enough video cameras out there to show us what is being done to us. That fact does not escape me. But I'm actually at the point where I'm more angry that it's still happening than the fact that it happened. Not, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. It's, why is this still happening? Fuck. There seems to be a disconnect with the police. And I'm not saying all police. There are some good police officers out there. I grew up in a police officer's house. I've said that before. I know a lot of good officers that I grew up, them coming to visit the house and us going to their houses. And so I know there are good police officers out there. There's one in particular. I believe he's out of Arkansas. I want to tell him he's doing a tremendous job. His name's Officer Tommy Norman, I believe. He's on Facebook. They took down his page. He just put a secondary page back up. If you're not familiar with who he is, there's a photo of a white police officer sitting on the steps of a porch eating chips with a handful of black kids. That's who Officer Tommy Norman is. If you know who he is, drop a line on his page, tell him he's doing a great job. Please, we need more officers like that. He understands what he's supposed to do. And by that, I know a lot of people say, well, don't all officers know? Well, clearly not. He understands that he is not a corrections officer. His job is not to wake up, clock in, crack heads, go home, and clock out. That's not his job. He understands that. His job is to protect the community. And beyond that, he understands that to protect the community, they have to trust you. They have to know who you are. So he spends time, he's invested in that community. And by the community, I don't mean the property, I don't mean the business owners, I mean the people. And I'm sure, and please, if you know of other officers that are doing what he does on Facebook, please leave me their name. I will gladly follow them and cheer them on and share their stories, because I believe that it needs to be seen how, not that there are, but how to be a good officer and protect the people, not run up on somebody and shoot them. Not freak out because someone tells you, hey, I am armed legally, let me give you my wallet so you can see that. That's not how this works. And it drives me nuts because we're not given a sporting chance. There are photos of, there's a photo on Facebook of some protesters, guys were carrying an AR-15 styled weapon on his left shoulder and a pistol on his right hip. He's actually reaching for the pistol. The protester is pointing, and the officer is just trying to calm him down. Meanwhile, a black man can't even reach for his wallet after informing the officer that he's doing so. That's the disconnect. There is no trust. And it's to the point where I have every intention of getting my concealed carry because I can legally do that. And now I'm debating on whether or not it's in my best interest because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it home. And it's really frustrating. Back to the point of not being a corrections officer. Police officers and corrections officers have two totally different jobs. Police officers are supposed to protect the people. Corrections officers are there to essentially make sure that there's not a riot in the jail. They're there to keep bad people in line. When there are police officers that think that they are there to keep bad people in line, you end up with situations like Tamir Rice. You end up with situations like Amadou Diallo. You end up with situations like Sean Bell, who was gunned down by an officer who never presented his badge, was actually part of the scuffle in the strip club the night before this young man's wedding. That should not happen. It's frustrating. It really is, to know that at any given time I could be next. And I actually thought I was of the age where I'm old enough for that not to happen to me. And then a 37-year-old, 1 year, maybe less than 1 year younger than me, is shot in the chest. And the police actually get a free ride, because a lot of times the people in charge of actually investigating this are the district attorneys that they work with on a regular basis who don't want to ruin that relationship. They get paid vacation after killing someone, and then they get to go back to work. Meanwhile, there's an entire family and an entire community grieving over the loss of someone. How do you get paid vacation? And I'm going to point out one in particular that, fortunately, someone actually had some integrity and said, no, this is wrong. Laquan McDonald, good, bad, and different, should have been arrested. He was walking down the street carrying a knife, slashing tires. I will never say he was in the right. He was walking down the street, slashing tires. Okay, put him in cuffs. Police officer pulls up. He walks away from the car. I didn't see the point where they say he slashed that officer's tires. Did not see it. May have happened, may not. But he's walking away from that car and is shot multiple times. The officer lied in the report, and if it wasn't for the persistence of the community, that officer would have gotten away with it, because no one had the integrity to say, no, you're wrong. The people that were standing there with him agreed with his lie. There were officers who followed up, watched the video, and said, yep, that's what happened. If you don't have the integrity to do the job, get the fuck out the job. But everybody thinks we're tripping. Everybody thinks we as black people are overreacting. No, we're not. It keeps happening. And now that we have video, you would think that we can actually get justice for those who have done nothing wrong. Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, this gentleman, I don't want to mess up his name. His last name is, I believe, Castillo in Minnesota, doing what they're supposed to do, and they're still gunned down, and it's just frustrating. And apparently there are those in society that think we're tripping. Okay, if we're tripping, who the fuck is kicking our legs? Because we're not making this up. We have videos that say, hey, this is really happening. There needs to be more accountability. And I said this to a friend of mine maybe last year. Until we actually get maybe 3 guilty verdicts on officers killing black people, it's not going to matter. It's nothing's going to change, because until there's a precedent that says if you are caught in the wrong, you will be put in jail, these officers are going to continue killing us.